GM, GM, our long national nightmare is over. NFL season starts today. This is it. This is the end of hot best ball summer. There is no more. We are in one last sprint. Well, I say that we might actually do another sprint. But we got to be dramatic for the Open. But anyway, this is one of the last sprints we're going to do. This contest is absolutely going to overlay. So we're chasing a little bit of overlay, and frankly, using a little bit of the last time all this knowledge is going to be helpful. Knowing the ADPs, knowing the draft pockets, knowing where the positional cliffs are, all of that knowledge, all of that stuff we've gleaned from drafting since January becomes completely useless in about 12 hours from right now. So we are going to squeeze every last drop out of that we can. Obviously, the experience that we gleaned, lessons we can take forward to next year are going to be super important. But, memorizing this ADP like it's the back of our hand, it's, we're not going to have to do that anymore. We're just going to push all that out and hopefully retain some lessons for next year. And we're off. We're off here in the 5-hole. I don't know that I see anybody in here. Dirty P, Merry Christmas Day, fam. It's here. It's finally here. It is. It is. You know what's my favorite part about it is when they used to be way worse about it, about the kickoff, like kickoff commercial. Like you'd be like, football's back, and they'd do a kickoff and they'd go right to commercial, and it's like, oh. But I think they did away with that. I don't think they do that as much anymore. But I'm so pumped for tonight. Should be a fun game. At least it's in America on a good field. I'm a little worried about the field on Friday. Last year, it did a number on Love's knee, which has me scared for our big bags of Chiefs and Chargers. But they say they have it worked out this year. They say it won't be as big a thing. But anyway, we can worry about that tomorrow. Today we've got football, and I couldn't be more stoked. I had said I was moving CMC to my 101. I don't have ranks in here, but I'm going to live my truth. I'm going to just keep taking CMC. I said for the last 4 or 5 days, I was going to have him ranked at the 101 to just skew exposure ever so slightly for these very late drafts and try to live my truth there. Dirty P says, dude, in this marathon just took Allen Kelsey at the 1-2. The normies are here. Greg says, I'm not ready. I want it to be a few more days. I know. I can't believe we're finally here. GM, best ball on call. Appreciate you. Appreciate your support. Appreciate the retweet this morning. Again, thank you so much as always. Best ball on call. Greg, GM gang, Dirty P, feels like a good day to feed the ducks. All right. As always, let me know if the music is too loud, too soft, too annoying. But we're going to feed the ducks, get them cranking in the AM. Looking at our board, doesn't look like we have anyone going too far afield with their early drafts. Nobody going Allen Kelsey in my board here. So yeah, I guess I'll just run a couple of sprints. Maybe we'll transition over to BRs. We'll see what the people want. We got Derrick Henry here at the 12, so it's good to see that some of our friends from the redraft world are here. If you've done home leagues, my home league experience has been that running backs have been pushed up quite a bit. Derrick Henry tends to go in the first round. Obviously, it depends on your league settings, depends on your league, but I think the default ranks on some of the bigger sites have your Derrick Henrys up kind of high. Bucky Irving all the way up at 14. That's a pretty big leap for him here. Although again, if you're trying to mix Amon-Ra and Bucky Irving, I have no problem doing a quasi board flip there. Let's see who we can pair with CMC on our end. Again, this of course is the sprint where the top two make it to a large contest wherein the final 3 weeks are essentially a brand new contest with everybody else there. For me, you know what? I think I'm a little light on like CMC Jacobs combos. I'm pretty into Josh Jacobs. So again, in a vacuum, I'm picking Chase Brown ahead of him, but we'll try to mix it up a little bit. You know, in a BBM environment where week 17 more crucial. I would get prioritize getting Lamar here. Uh, we get the Packers Ravens Week 17 game. Now that's only a third of that final contest. It's not the final money week, so all of the playoff weeks are essentially equal in this. So you don't have to prioritize Week 17. There's probably a little bit of an edge grinding the Week 15 and 16 matchups that people don't have off the hop. This is something where an overlay could really help, but we don't do that here. We don't have an overlay, at least not in 2025. Maybe next year. Maybe next year I will embrace big overlay, but right now we are holding on. I might take Lamar anyway. Okay, I was gonna say I might take Lamar anyway to go elite quarterback, but let's just get Ladd McConkey on the team. That seems pretty darn good. Ladd McConkey at 29, I will never ever pass on. Let's see, a very nice combo there. So we started with CMC, Jacobs, and Ladd. Started looking at things like Showdown for tonight. It's a pretty interesting slate. It is tough. It is really tough. This is one of those where if you're doing single entry, it feels like you kind of got to get lucky with who you pick at captain. There are so many, there's really arguments for any of the elite players at captain. I don't necessarily think this is a good slate to try to get cute with a cheap captain and then jam 5 studs. I think the odds are that one player in this game is going to score so highly that if you don't get the 1.5 times multiplier right, you're not going to be able to catch it. There are slates, of course, where you can put the like $200 player in the captain and then get the 5 highest scoring players and get home. That's pretty rare. I don't really like doing that. I think that's like you see that once a slate, but when it happens, it's so cool that I think it's a little bit overdone. But it is very interesting. It's also tough because the cheap pieces in these offenses, minus the Dallas running backs, feel like true punts, especially on the Eagles side. I've really had a hard time justifying playing like a Dotson or a Shipley, being that it just seems like the offense is really going to flow through Hurts, Saquon, and then Brown and Devonta Smith. They're really a team that doesn't go too far afield. Dallas Goedert, of course, I think can be mixed in, but he's not cheap. He's not a cheap player. So very interesting slate. Who aims sup fam says Turpin captain is the way. It absolutely could be. I don't recall offhand how much that leaves you. If that does enable you to get like 3 of the 10K players plus like another couple usable guys, it's entirely possible. Turpin would have to score a touchdown and probably not just a kick return. Like he'd probably actually have to gain some yardage to make that work. But it's definitely something I'm going to plug in and try. I just don't. I sometimes feel like we have a tendency to try to do those cheap captains, and they don't always pan out for us. Tiger Uppercut GM to you. Appreciate you coming by. As always, thank you for the support. But yeah, Who Aims, I'm certainly I have not finished my builds, and I'm going to see what we can see with one of the inexpensive pieces. Obviously, Turpin seems like one of the better punts, but again, it's full point PPR. You can get there as a receiver by volume and by scoring, and if you do both, you just can be a slate breaker. And I just have a little trouble thinking Turpin's going to have more than 2 or 3 receptions. Like even if he gets a long touchdown, I don't know if he's going to be like optimal in the captain spot. Certainly, you'll probably need him as like the cheap punt to get other guys. But I'm a little leery of putting him, slotting him in at captain unless it truly unlocks something like really amazing. Steven GM, everyone. Hey, thanks so much for coming in. ATX Bearcat, we are still drafting. We're here at the bitter end. Let's see. Do we want DJ Moore? Yeah. That's all right. We'll go by ADP. We won't do anything too crazy. Let's take DJ Moore. I feel like I'm a slightly light on him. But we'll get him. For the audio listeners, we got CMC Jacobs, and then Ladd, Jamison Williams, and DJ Moore on the team. Don't mind the way that this is shaking out so far. Hopefully, we can get a running back we like here at pick 68. Somebody in the Pollard Ridley ilk would be nice, because we did pass on this slightly earlier tier, this Kamara, Connor, Harvey range. That's all going to go over here on the right side of the board. Tiger Uppercut, my bags are packed. Now it's watching games, overreacting, and coping. Yep. I do envy the people that do this and are not deep in the DFS streets, because I'll be deep in the DFS streets, and it can be pretty up or down. It definitely can take you away from sweating your best ball bags. I do look at all my best ball stuff, but when we have such big volume, it's hard to like point out an individual team that we're sweating until the playoff weeks comes. 2 games. My lineup is Turpin, Barkley, Dak, Ferg, Hurts, Smith. Yeah, that's that. I mean, that will that does get like everybody. That's like I think that's going to project very well. Again, it's sort of, that's something I might want to get into. If you're putting that in the big lotto, I would probably put that in like a single entry or small field thing, because that's going to be duped for sure. Like if the lineup fits anyone that starts with Turpin, I have to imagine, I don't think that's probably leaving a lot of salary off the table. But that's the kind of lineup I wouldn't mind in like a small field thing, because you're probably not going to be holding hands with a bunch of people, because it's a very specific lineup. But there is a good chance in the like Millie Maker that there's going to be like a train of people with a lineup like that lets you get to like Dak, Saquon, Hurts, and Devonta Smith like that. Greg says going to win all the monies when Dotson and Tolbert. Yeah. Greg, you're like it's like the Buzz Lightyear meme on the shelf. Like everyone's like thinks like, oh, nobody's gonna have these ancillary pieces, and then in the big lotto, it's like, if that wins, it's like 200 people splitting it. But yeah, you have to get weird. Like you have to hope your low owned piece like gets home. So I think you're picking the right cheapies, at least in my book. All right, let's take Jaylen Warren here. I'm pretty into Jaylen Warren. I'm going through a little bit of a Jaylen Warren phase at the end of hot best ball summer. We're up to 4 running backs. We got CMC, Jacobs, Pacheco, and Warren. This will let us stop at five running backs, I think, so we can focus on some of the other positions. And then Ladd, JMO, and DJ Moore. Hopefully we can get another wide receiver we like down kind of in the doldrums here. Of course, the big news from yesterday, I would say, is Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk, a man who has never been injured in his career, injured yet again. He was a guy I was light on early on, and I warmed up to him. I fell for the slot demon nickname, and now I'm a little concerned. The question is, was it truly a hamstring injury, or was this a classic veteran rest day where they give it some kind of designation? Makes me a little nervous that they specifically called out hamstring. My panic level is at a medium. I'd say it's about a 4 out of 10. But it's one of those things where if he does not play week 1, which we won't know, we'll know a lot more after today's practice session. We'll know a lot more. But if for some reason he doesn't play and like Jalen Knoll takes his job and Jalen Knoll looks awesome, the genie might not be coming back in the bottle for old slot demon. Like it makes me pretty nervous, this guy already missing time, if that happens. But we'll see. I'm hoping it's a minor thing. I'm hoping it's just, he's back limited today and then full go Friday, and then this will all be a bad dream. But it is possible. I have 8% Kirk overall and 12% in BBM. So 12% Kirk in BBM does not feel very cozy. Does not feel very cozy right now. Greg says wide receiver 3 supremacy. Yeah, these short slates, you can, the showdown slates, if you hit on the right cheapie, you definitely can unlock. You can definitely unlock something big. All right, we're coming back up. Bo Nix, Krosky Merritt, Shaheed, Mooney. I don't have any of these running backs that would make any sense as a fifth. I'd rather get a fourth receiver. Don't really need a quarterback just yet. Sharps goes. So Kupp, Shaheed, or Mooney. I'm gonna do Mooney. I don't think his ADP has adjusted from actually being healthy. I know this is not the best. I got some week 5 bye problems, but we'll take Mooney onto this team. Probably try to take another wide receiver here. Although if Travis Kelce is staring me at pick 101, I will take him. So let's queue up some receivers. Man, receiver, especially now that you can't just like comfy click Kirk, is a little bit dicey. I think, did Loveland go? Maybe we queue up Loveland because we do have more. So if we take Loveland here, we could look at making this a Caleb team. All right. FK Cooler says it's a lot to juggle. I'm usually doing the Wildcat up until Friday to Saturday, then move to DFS. Yep. Yeah, and I'm still. I think my initial streams, once best ball is closed, they might be a little bit like helter skelter. I'm trying to figure out like what's a good schedule of what. I'm just gonna take Travis Kelce here. I think if you Travis Kelce at the end of the season could really be like the hammer you need, or he could really suck. But if he's wedding planning at the end of the season, I'm in big trouble. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that Kelce's gonna be good this season. Yeah, so I'm going to try to figure out what people want to see, what makes the most sense. I can't imagine just ripping the main BR for 5 days in a row. I might have to like figure some other stuff in there, but whatever the people want, because I want to keep doing these morning streams. I want to know what people would be interested in seeing. I imagine it'll mostly be underdog, but if people want to do some DraftKings stuff, maybe we do that. I have concepts of a plan of trying to like hand build some stuff for I'm not going to max the DK Millie. That's I think it's bad use of bankroll, but I think there's typically a $5 150 max, so maybe we'll look at like building a few lineups on stream and just entering those, because to be candid, I don't really want to like do my single entry stuff, because I do play some high dollar stuff, and I don't really like want to just put my exact lineup out there in like saddies that like you have to win first to get, because that's like really annoying if you get duped. That like I know people. I don't think I'm like this amazing player that people are going to copy, but I still just kind of would rather put out like MME stuff. Like if I have the same lot entry in the $5 lotto with someone else and we dupe, like that's great. Like I'm happy to just have one. So I don't know. I think we'll do some stuff like that. We'll try to like do some large field lotto stuff, build some lineups together. Could be fun. So we will see. Coming back around, I think Caleb just disappeared from my queue. All right. What about Jared Goff? Can we get Jared Goff? All right. Let's take Goff because we do have JMO, and then we'll queue up Herbert. So we'll go Goff first, stack him up. X-Wall, I want to see your exact lineups. Yeah. I mean, it's like I do the short field stuff for the like fantasy football world championship, and some of those it's like it's literally winner take all, and then if you dupe you're in a playoff, and it's like that seems kind of miserable. Like I'm gonna tell everyone my favorite plays and like stuff I want to do. Like we'll build lineups, but just like the exact one for one, I don't know. That might just be a little much. We'll see. Again, we'll see. It's a work in progress. Greg says, Warren called A-Rod his best friend, 50 plus reception inbound. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm in on that. Who aims lucky does not have a lot of Kirk. Yeah. Joel, GM to you. ATX Bearcat. Yeah, Joel, thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. ATX Bearcat, 12% Kirk for me in BBM. He was an easy click. Yep, that's exactly where I got to. Doesn't seem so easy now. Huhames said, I could have sworn they had a $20 or $50 3-max contest. I was hoping to max out the Wildcat as much. Yeah, Huhames, you're right. I'm positive they had a 50 max, like $3. I think that was the Wildcat. I think they renamed it. I hope they bring that back because I would love to max that on stream. Like the $7 150 max, I don't want to max. I'm not going to max that every week. Like that gets really expensive. Like I tend to be more of like a single entry 3 max player, 20 max. I'm not a 150 maxer in like any format. I'd rather do smaller stuff. Greg says, man, remember drafting Noah Gray in February when he thought Kelsey was going to retire? I have like no Kelsey in pre-draft because I thought he was going to retire. Not great. FK Coolers last year, they definitely had a $3.20 max every week. Makes sense. Yeah, I think they did. Like I don't know what happened. I hope they bring that back. I'm with you. I stick mainly to higher dollar single entry 3 max stuff for DFS. My strengths aren't in big field MMA. Yep. Yeah, that's what I've realized. I've tried 150 maxing a couple years ago and I just lost all my money. I've done much better. I think the problem is that the optimizers and sims have made those MME tournaments really difficult for the just grinders out there. All right, do we want to take a third quarterback? Do we want to take a running back? I mean, I'm almost thinking of just taking Mooney here and then stacking up everything else. And then I would have Ladd, JMO, and Mooney stacked, and I wouldn't have to worry about another quarterback. You know, you could argue it's a little aggressive, but let's kind of starve the room a little at quarterback and take Darnell Mooney there. So for the audio listeners, we've got Goff, Herbert, Penix, CMC, Jacobs, Pacheco, Warren, and then Ladd, JMO, Moore, Mooney, and Kelsey. I will optimistically put Kyle Pitts in the queue, but I'd be very surprised if he comes back to us. Other potential guys we can take at 149. I think Najee is now back to being quite clickable. Tyler Algier might be a better click with Penix. Obviously, if something happens to Bijan, we are wheels up there, and then we would be our final running back on this team. Let's see if Big Time takes Pitts. If he doesn't, then we'll get the Pitts. We'll get the Penix double, which feels kind of nice. If not, it's fine. All right, seems good. We'll take Kyle Pitts. So we've got Kelsey and Pitts in our tight end room. Feels strong. I meant to have the board up while we were just chatting football. Huam says, I'll never do a winner take all large field thing. Yeah, the winner take all stuff, it's like 200 field, like 200 person is kind of the max. And it's like, you look at the names in there and it's like the most shark infested waters you'll see in your life. Like you'll have like Utica max entering it and Brohanosaurus and McLovin, like all the names you see and you're like, oh god, like these are people that do this for a living, and it is pretty brutal. Some of the higher end stuff. I don't play the nosebleed stuff like the Thunderdome or the crazy stuff. I'm not doing anything like that. But Greg says, is Kirk dead? They put a grade on the hamstring. I don't think we know enough yet. It's anywhere from like a fake veteran rest day to like it's Jover. Like I don't know. It's not. I'm glad our draft season's mostly done, so I don't have to like worry at this point. It is what it is. Huhaim says, I don't want the 150 max $3. I want a smaller max. Yep, I agree, Huhaim. I don't know why they made it 150 max. I really wish it was 50. So that one's a little unfortunate. I'd like Thornton. If Thornton's gone, then we'll take someone else. I just don't know who. All right, Thornton. Io Manor is actually who I was thinking. Let's take Dante Thornton on this team. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. Thornton's on the team as our 5th receiver. room. I don't mind the way this team's come together. You know, it's fairly meat and potatoes, nothing too exciting. ATX Bearcat, $3 NFL, 400K play action, 20 entry max is there. Okay, nice. So that's something that that's something we could look at. Maybe tomorrow's stream. Maybe tomorrow's stream we can do a little. We can throw some entries into that one. Ant X Wall, best ball is next with all these RTAs. Better enjoy it now. Yeah, but let me make this pick, and then I will say why I'm not worried. All right, let's do Keaton Mitchell. Oh, no, he's another week. No, he's week 7. We're good. All right, Keaton Mitchell, welcome to the team. Like that. Could I have taken Trey Harris with Herbert? Sure, but I'm a little bit cool on Trey Harris to be perfectly candid with everybody. I'd probably rather take KLS as my last pick. I think the sims and the optimizers and the projections are so much better week to week than they are for a full season that I think we're going to be okay in best ball. I think the issue is they've gotten very good once they get enough data and usage in season that is like a massive edge. By like week 7, I think the Opto bros and Sim bros are playing a different game. But in pre-flop, I think it's so hard to project that they're just as likely to be simming and projecting off of bad data than actually being beneficial. So I don't know. I'm not as worried in best ball, but yeah, it's to me, maybe that's just cope. Like that could just be total cope on my part, and then every year it's going to get better. And if you don't have that, it's like just going to be a battle of the of the sims. But I do think that there's enough room for creativity before the season starts that I'm not quite as concerned about that with best ball. All right, let's see. Anything makes sense. Anything makes sense with Herbert, Penix, and Goff. We've already missed out on Tesla. He's long gone here. Let's see. I do like Giddens, but I don't need another receiver. I'm gonna take QJ. I think the QJ concussion thing gave everybody a reason to fade him, but I think he sounds like he's back practicing and is gonna be fine there. So let's get QJ onto the team. He's a Harbaugh favorite. I'm not gonna sweat QJ stuff. Now my question is, do I take 2 tight ends or do I go to a third? This being a sprint, maybe we just end at 2 tight ends and go with one more receiver and one more running back on this team. So I'll start queuing up some potential guys in that range. Jalen Noel, of course. If we really do think this is a long-term thing with Slot Demon, maybe he becomes a guy that we prioritize late here. Dirty P Chad, I have 120 eliminator teams that are about to crush with heavy Mixon, Rice, Judkins bags. Got 2 in the $100 eliminator. Dirty P, I don't have that much. I didn't get that many eliminators in. Let me check after this draft. I'm pretty light. I know I have way more Mixon than I want. I think I have 8% Mixon post draft, and I haven't taken him in a month. So that'll tell you how much Mixon I was taking pre-draft. And by a month, I mean like 2 months. Like I have not clicked Mixon in a long time. All right, let's do Taj Brooks. That seems like a fun sprint pick if something happens to Chase Brown. He becomes pretty interesting here. I still like Diami Brown. Maybe I'm a fish. Jalen Lane, kind of a fun rookie. Ray McLeod, if I absolutely need a stack. I think Keyshawn Boutte might be clickable. I mean, I think he's actually starting. I don't know. I've heard a little mini tiny drum beat, a little bongos maybe on Keyshawn Boutte. Best ball on call. Much harder to forecast week 17 weeks because of chaos. That's more my end of it. But as Patty Corain said, the Sims have got you covered. So maybe the Sims will be able to factor that in. FK Cores, the RTA stuff will hurt the daily fantasy, the daily weekly games with full season. Too much of a lotto ticket, not a game that can be solved. Yep, that's where I come down on that too. Greg says, yeah, this makes BRs unplayable. They're playing a different game. I'm reminded of who I'm up against every time I pop in a Badge Bros stream. Well, Greg, I don't know about that for BRs, honestly. I think you can still hand build enough to be okay. And if you're worried about that, then I would play the like 3 max and single entry, prioritize those, because I think where you get the edges is when you can get like 150 combos, and those like final 75 are ones that are like, I don't know, maybe not as immediately obvious, but still project well that the Sims are going to sniff out. I don't know, maybe this is all cope and we're all screwed, but I don't think the game is like completely unbeatable for somebody doing that, but I think it's going to like impact what contests we join. All right, so the fun receivers have all gone, but what's more fun than taking Kayshawn Booty? I mean, you got to ask yourself, truly. So this ends up being a 3-6-7-2. We got Goff, Herbert, and Penix, CMC, Jacobs, Pacheco, Warren, Mitchell, and Taj Brooks. Wide receiver room of Ladd, J-Mo, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Dante Thornton, QJ, Booty, and then Kelsey and Pitts. There was an exposure question. Oh, how much eliminator I have. Let me pull that up, and then let me catch up with chat, and we'll hop into something else. So my elims. This is the wrong screen. Dear God. How do I get back to this? All right. Eliminator season. I did 46 eliminators, 45 small and 1 big eliminator. Let's see what our big eliminator team is. I'm almost scared to click this. Bo Nix, Cam Ward, Aaron Rodgers, CMC, Chase Brown, Alvin Kamara, Jordan Mason, and Ollie Gordon at pick 198. Guys, did we achieve generational wealth? Garrett Wilson, Cortland Sutton, Deebo Samuel, Rashad Bateman, Marvin Mims, Darius Slayton, Kavonte Turpin, Kelsey, Strange, Chig. I mean, did I just win the big eliminator? Did we just bink the big eliminator? I don't know. If this team dies week 1, I'm going to be sad because I feel like it's actually kind of fun. Let's look at I'll pull up the exposures. Let's see how much Mixon is in here. Mixon. Good. 15% Joe Mixon. Ripperino. There she goes. Any other funny ones? Oh, 17% Miles Sanders. That seems good. All right. Nobody truly dead in the wide receiver room. Lots of Tucker Kraft. And plenty of Cam Ward. A lot of Jalen Hurts. All right. Well, hopefully the Eagles do well. All right, let's see. Dirty P says, yeah, wait till we're all biochipped and the bots have real-time biometrics from the athletes. Yeah. The robot football, the cyborg football league, we'll do fantasy for that. Huam says, ATX Bearcat, I don't have a play action though. I miss something. I'm sorry. Now Greg says, small entry contests are kind of fun for a few minutes. No, they're fun. Stefan, GM2, thanks so much for coming in. Greg asks, is Davis's survivor pool for money? And if so, do you have a link? First of all, Stefan, thanks so much for coming and hanging. Let me see. I don't know. I should probably, after this stream, I have to do all my survivor stuff. So I got to hop in there. Nick, GM from Vegas. Hey, GM to you. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're not trying to play DraftKings because that's one place you can't do it. Nick, if you're there for the Circa Survivor League, you got to let me know because that's pretty sweet. And that is such a cool contest, but you actually need somebody in person there to join. It is one of my my white whales in the gambling sports space. I want to do that one year, but it will not be this year. But Nick, thanks so much for coming in and hanging out from Vegas. I hope you're having a good morning, or if you're winding down for bed, I hope you had a good night last night. ATX Bearcat Whohames, is there a click? The 12 game main? Yeah. Oh, 12 game. I thought there was a 12. I thought there was a full slate BR. Let me see. This is like weirdly easier to find on your phone. I thought they had their own. The Flea Flicker. The Flea Flicker and the Flea Flicker is $75. The Squib Kick is 12-person drafts, 112 max, which is a weird amount. But they do have some 12-person BRs. Whohames. I think there's a couple other ones too. Oops, my bad. Was talking DraftKings. Annex Wall, clean ass team. Yes, I assume you're talking about the Eliminator team. I like that Eliminator team. It seems pretty good. Makes sense. ATX Bearcat, I won a 333 Wildcat. I'm trying to decide Showdown or main slate. For me, that would. Are you a better Showdown or main slate player? And do you have to use it this week? Like, I think, again, if you're trying to beat the Sim Bros, I would jam it now, because the Sims and the Optos are just not going to be as good. Once they get more data, it's going to be harder. So but again, you are also working with less data. So if you do not feel like you have an edge or comfort, because we're projecting a lot of unknowns, then I would save it. Me personally, I would probably do the main slate, but again, I don't think there's anything wrong with either. It just depends if you like the BR slate, I would do that. I mean, or if you like tomorrow's, the Showdown slate. If you like tomorrow's Showdown slate, you can go for it. I don't know. That is fun though. Congrats on the ticket. Whohames. I think I'm going to play on Drafters at least 1 week. They're giving a ticket at 10 and 25 entries. So you can get 2 free tickets in the 11 and 330 contest. It's lobbies. Yeah, I have not done any Drafters, so I don't even know what their in-season contests are. Nick is just there for the FFPC mains. Oh, that's awesome. Have fun. That is so cool. I would love to be able to do more of the in-person stuff. Hopefully one day I make it big, Nick, and I can see out there doing stuff. That'd be pretty awesome. Whohames asking Nick, how's it been? Greg shares all of our sentiments, saying, hell yeah, Nick, take it down. Steph says, oh, I'm here every day, bud. I typically falling asleep after work. I just enjoy the best ball chat as I fade, and Miles Sanders could easily be relevant. All the Dallas running backs and stuff. I hope so, Stefan, and I hope if it is, it's Miles Sanders. And appreciate you coming in and hanging out every morning. Lurkers number one. So I do appreciate you hanging out and spending your morning here with us. ATX Bearcat leaning main slate, has 30 days to use it. Well, yeah, that's another decision. Like, I guess you can't wait until any bye week slates, because those are week 5, so that wouldn't happen yet. The bye weeks, once bye weeks hit, I almost sometimes find it overwhelming having like the main slate. Like week 2 is going to be huge. Probably, I think that's going to be the biggest main slate there is, because we'll only have one. I don't think there's 2 Monday night games next week. Either way, like when there's no teams on bye, you have so many options. It feels like you're trying to jam in so many different ideas. Nick says, real good, who haven't been in the streams as much, focusing on getting ready for those mains. Oh, that's awesome. Asking for the streamers, who are your spookiest fades? I don't have very much Rashi Rice. And I don't even like to say I don't have much Travis Hunter, because I think if you're streaming, you're required to have at least 9% Travis Hunter. And I don't even want to pull it up how little Travis Hunter I have, but I'm going to for the people. Pre-draft best ball. How much Travis Hunter do I have? Watch this. Watch how sad this is. I was the guy who was like, he's going to be a cornerback, and I was totally wrong. None. Stone 0. 258 teams. No Travis Hunter. Terrible process. Was completely wrong. I don't know. I just don't know what to tell you. I should have been taking him, but I didn't take him in the 180s on the day open. Then I didn't take him in the 140s. Then Pete's video dropped and he was in the 110s, and I was just like, no, I'm not doing it. And that was bad. I should have been taking him there. Post-draft contest. Let's see. Travis Hunter. How much do I have? 5.8%. Okay, I'm actually higher than I thought I was. I'm higher than I thought I was post-draft. So I did see the error of my ways. I have a little bit of an exposure blanket on him. BBM specifically, because to me that is the most important. 6%. 6%. So I saw the error of my ways. I did get a little bit of Travis Hunter on there, but I am like way out on Rashee Rice. I have no Rashee Rice in BBM. If Rashee Rice is who you need, I will lose. Huame says Kyren and Etienne. I'm pretty light on Kyren. I have no Kyren in BBM. Let me make sure I'm not spelling his name wrong. No, I have more Savion Williams than Kyren Williams. So I'm with you there. Etienne, I have 4.7% Etienne in BBM. Joel says, I faded Hunter in the big board. We can go down in flames. Yeah, Joel, we messed up, man. I don't know what to tell you. I wish I could have that one back. I have 1% Kyren and Kamara. It's terrifying. I'm going to go over my final exposures tomorrow. Nice, Huhames. I just can't believe this is it. I can't believe this is it. It's like, what do people want to see? What do people want to see? Let me see where a dog bowl's at. If this is nowhere near filling, I'll do another sprint. Oh, we're waiting for 2. All right. You guys want to run a dog bowl? We can do a dog bowl. Dirty P says you're at 4% BTJ and 6% Hunter. Yeah, I'm pretty light. I'm pretty light on the Jags pass catchers, not named Diami Brown. That's gonna age so badly. That's gonna age so badly, Dirty Pete. Yeah, BTJ was just my least favorite click at the end of the first round. I just did not like clicking his name. Also, we're 42 minutes in. I have not asked for a like and a sub. In fact, I am going to leave this draft if you all don't like. I'm not going to actually leave, but please like the stream if you can. It does me a lot of good. If you want to hop into a dog bowl, you can hop in. These tend to be very shark infested waters as well. Hold on one second. All right, my wife is texting me. Good morning. Okay. All right. These tend to be shark-infested waters, but we try to be, not a shark, maybe just like a large fish that the sharks kind of leave alone. We'll see. Certainly not a whale, not a barracuda, maybe like a big grouper. I don't know. Either way, we are gonna swim in these waters and see what we can do. Let's see. Greg says, that Connors fade got to feel spooky for week 1 Saints, but lucky those contests aren't won. Then, yeah, Nick, I have got very warmed up on Kamara. He was a guy that I was light on early, and then just feels like he just jams it down my throat every year, and I'm like, why did I not take Alvin Kamara? And Tyler, for the first time, I make a semi-lewd reference saying jam down my throat. Tyler appears like some kind of innuendo genie. So thank you, Tyler, for popping in. Telling Nick to bust Dom's balls for me. Yes, I don't know who Tyler is referring to, but I agree with him. Dirty P says Liam Cohen made Chris Godwin wide receiver 2. Feels like BTJ could be the same. Very bold fade. Again, it was like I preferred Neighbors. I preferred Amon-Ra a little bit, and I felt like I was always getting cute and trying to take Drake London to build like unique combos, and I might have just like faded a good player. Yeah, Chad with the fish knowledge. Look, yesterday I said this was going to convert to an ASMR stream. That didn't get much traction, so maybe we're going to convert to a fish/aquatic stream when best ball's over. Nick says, yo, Tyler is indeed horny Beetlejuice. Chad is a remora, just laying. See, I thought I was gonna be a fish guy, but I don't even know what a remora is. You literally that's I thought that was the name of a vacuum, so I don't know. Tyler says some BS JCM and Toot news from insiders via ESPN. You love to bullish, some bullish JCM and Toot news. Yeah, I saw JCM got the second set of reps in the running back drills yesterday. I missed the Tootin news though. By the way, we're sitting in the lobby for a dog bowl, which I really thought would have fired by now, but we'll see. We'll see. If not, I don't know if the people want another sprint or people people ready to move on to BR stuff. Let me know. Let me know what you want to see, and we'll make it happen. Part of me is thinking just like fire another just a regular BR until this fills. But I know as soon as I click enter in a BR, this is gonna fire, and then I'm gonna have to multi, and I really don't want to multi the I do not want to multi the dog bowl. Joel says sprint promo, chase that overlay, do a sprint or marathon. All right, there will be plenty of time for dog bowls this season. I'm gonna hop out of this. That's fine. Let's get into a sprint. We'll chase the overlay. We'll chase the promo. We won't chase waterfalls. We're waiting for 8. If anyone wants to get in, please let me know. Aunt X Wall is ripping puppies right now. Let me see what's the puppy rate. The puppies not overlaying as much. I've only done like 3. Yeah, I've done 2 puppies. I just really didn't get in the puppy 4, which is I just did not have time to do that. If you want to hop in, if you want to draft with one of the last drafts I'm going to do this year, hop on in. We're waiting for 6. I finished the DK Millie this morning, and I ended in glorious fashion. I somehow missed a pick despite being on the turn, and I autoed Jalen Coker towards the end, so that felt very, very appropriate way to end my DraftKings DK Millie. But I have maxed that as well. I'd love to share those exposures, but I have stone zero idea how to actually bring them up. They are wildly inaccurate. Maybe it's better on the website than in the app, but it's pretty annoying. It's pretty annoying that they have something that says your exposures and it's completely wrong. Huames, I got the sprints in yesterday, gonna do the marathon today. I think might do the puppies. Huames, how many sprints did you get? I can't remember how many said you were going to do, but that's pretty sweet if you were able to max it, because I'm getting nowhere close. Waiting for 2. If anyone wants to hop in, hop on in. The water is fine. All right. just waiting for draft. Just waiting for drafts to start. But I will miss this. I will miss waiting for these to fire and just hanging out, waiting for one. Nick saying Coker could still be important down the stretch. Yeah, that's true, right? Like, it's been weird. It's been weird because like as soon as this happened, it's like, oh well, Coker's completely off the draft board now because he's like missing 4 games. Yet we all we preach all year is week 17 is all that matters, and then somebody misses week 1, and we're like, we simply cannot draft them. And it's like, well, I guess my concern is that the bet felt slightly thin. You know, they re-signed, they brought Renfro in, who was like the chatter of early training camp. So it does feel like, they said he was going to be like the starting slot receiver. Does he just immediately go back to that? Or now does he like kind of working his way back in? So it just like the bet got quite a bit thinner for like an undrafted, for like a UDFA where it felt, it felt a little maybe thinner than we wanted it to begin with. That said, I think he's fine. I think he's still clickable, but I would have liked to have made the decision rather than the auto draft gods choosing for me. Dirty P here in the 1 hole. ATX Bearcat here in the 4. I'm in the 6. Mr. Worth in at the 9. If anyone else is in here, let me know. And good luck to everybody. Hopefully 2 of us in this group, 2 of the 4 of us, make it out of the pod. All right, Huaim says, I got 38, now thinking 50 or 40 is the new goal with the promo. Yeah, it's nice they're doing a little something for us to encourage that. I mean, it is funny because I probably would have been doing these anyway just to chase the overlay, but you put the promo on top of it, it's like, I don't know if I'm actually going to chase it any harder than I was, but it's nice to get kind of rewarded for something I was planning to do anyway. Best ball on call will likely be with Panthers JV defense. there is something to be said for being attached to a terrible defense like that. You are just going to be on the field a lot more. We'll take CMC. As I have said, I moved him to my 101. I'm going to be taking a ton of CMC at the end of the draft cycle here. It's not going to skew my exposures that much, but just these past few days, I kind of just want to see if we can't build a bunch of CMC teams. Goes cards. How many teams will you advance in week 1 in the eliminator and 1Qs? So I didn't do any 1Qs. You know, the lazy answer is that I'm going to advance half my eliminator teams. I'm hoping it's more, though. Like, in a vacuum, I look at all my teams. I'm like, oh, yeah, none of these teams are going to lose. But, you know, mathematically, half of them should. That said, I'm going to guess I'll have a 60% advance rate. I think I could be above average, right? Right? Like, I don't think I'm like, you know, I hope I don't hit stone 50% or worse. But obviously we're gonna lose some. Who Hames want to do the 10 marathon? I think, yeah. It's just too late for me to ape into the marathon. All right, so we got CMC. Maybe I do a lot of double running back. Let's do an AJ Brown team. Let's do an AJ Brown team this go around. So we get CMC, AJ Brown. Mr. Worth, he went Neighbors, A-Chain, and now ATX Bearcat is on deck there. Wait, what promo? I think if you do 4 sprints, you get $20, I think, or something like that. 5 sprints, you get $20. You either have to do 4 or 5, and then you get $20 back. So it's I definitely check what it is exactly, because I don't want you to do 8 and you actually needed 10 or something like that. I think it's 5 actually, now that I think about it, and it ends when the contest closes, I think, or 4 p.m. There's a cutoff time, but I imagine it's till lock. What is a sprint marathon promo? Play 5, get 1. Yeah, someone would have to. I can check after this if nobody. Yes, Joel says 5 sprints get 1 free. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the marathon is the same promo. Greg says, do I need to do anything for these? I never seem to find them. I think this one you automatically get. I don't think you have to opt into it. DraftKings, you have to opt in, and they don't count it if you haven't opted in before. So definitely make sure if you're chasing any of the DK promos when they come up to do that. I had that happen with my 555s. You had to do 5 in a window, and I had 3 tickets, and I hadn't clicked opt in, so only 2 counted. And I'm like, I'm not buying 3 more of these, so I just didn't get the promo, which is a little rubbed me the wrong way, just a little bit. You know what? Let's take McBride. A little bit of a ADP faller. I kind of cooled on McBride lately, but let's not build the same team every time. Let's go elite tight end. Not to telegraph too much what I'm doing, but I would definitely consider making this just the pure rainbow and taking Jalen Hurts at pick 43. If not, though, I will happily take one of these the receivers in that range. Get one refunded. Yeah. I think they just give you $20. It might be in site credit. Who Aims? Funds paid tomorrow. Greg says it's automatic as long as you do 5 drafts. Yeah. So the funds pay tomorrow, so you can just roll them right into the BR super fund. All right, so let's check in on our friends Dirty P, Chase, Higgins, and Hampton. So we'll see how he handles the Grand Burrow decision. ATX Bearcat with Barkley, Taylor, Mike Evans, like that. J Dubs, he goes Neighbors, A-Chain, and Jaden Daniels. We'll see what he decides to do with his pick as he comes around. I have a hunch. I know what he's going to do. Let's see. Are we correct? We don't want to influence Mr. Worth either way, but we're going to find out. Is he a McLaurin bro? And he is. So McLaurin appears on the screen as anticipated. If Jalen Hurts goes, I take so much Garrett Wilson. I would have taken Pickens there just to get a little bit different. I take a ton of JMO. Let's take Jalen Hurts. We'll go the 1-1-1-1, like we're in a home league. And we need to fill out our roster. Hold on one second. hold on one sec. The wife was trying to FaceTime me. I had to tell her I am FaceTiming I'm FaceTiming my friends. No. So, all right, let's see. Greg says probably still gonna patrol these puppy streets. Yeah, I wouldn't like chase a $20 promo for a format you don't like. I don't think that's a good process. If you like the puppies and just want to stick with the normal stuff, I would rock that. Most important question: which Scatabo team will win BBM? Oh, man, I am frothing at the mouth for a Scatabo touchdown. It would hit so hard if we get a Scatabo goal line touchdown. This I will be on the questionable with a hamstring injury from victory lapping if that were to happen there. All right, let's see. Some pretty good wide receivers here. Metcalf, Ridley. We'll just go by ADP. We've been kind of soaking up ADP value. We'll take Metcalf there. I like him. I like Ridley. I think to me it's very hard. I wish I had like multiple clicks in this 4th, 5th round with these receivers. I think they're pretty darn exciting this season. Joel says, actually not a McLaurin bro, but price is fine to stack and get exposure. Yeah, I think that's it too. I'm not a big McLaurin bro. I was last year, but he was also going way later than he is this year. I'm actually a Debo bro. That's where I put my chips in, especially on a lot of my Daniels teams. I'm really into Debo Samuel. Bestball says wife is too cool to chat rat. Respectable. Yeah. Yeah, it's surprising. It's surprising she doesn't want to rip best ball draft. Sladen, GMTU, thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Appreciate it. I did so many 1-1-1-1s this year. Life isn't fun unless you're punting wide receiver. You know, there were some really good late wide receivers who crept up this year. I think you could have pulled it off. I think there's going to be some good lineups that really pushed receiver till late that hit this season. I think it's viable. Like I'm sure we're going to see some finals teams crop up that did not go with the early wide receiver orthodoxy this season. I think that's definitely very live to happen. I was going to say if I don't get Pacheco here, I'm in big trouble with running back. So let's keep on the balanced build train. We got a 1-2-2-1 with Hurts, CMC, and Pacheco, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, and Trey McBride. Talking Terry McLaurin. All right, let's see what our friends are doing. J-Dub, since adding McLaurin, he added Devonta Smith and Matthew Golden. ATX Bearcat. So he goes Saquon and then Taylor and then Evans, Moore, Waddle, and Jennings. So heavy wide receivers afterwards. Chonks, I don't know who this is, but they love nothing more than large men who run the football, including Josh Allen. 4 running backs, 1 quarterback. Interesting there. So he is leaning into the 0 wide receiver approach. Dirty P, he takes Chase and Higgins. He does take Burrow at the 4-5 turn and added in Hampton, Hubbard, and is now on the clock for his 6-7. Addison, and who else does Dirty P take? He's scrolling. He's thinking. He did not have them queued up. I can see the beat of sweat. He takes Jordan Mason, so he builds out a bet on the Vikings there, taking Mason ahead of Aaron Jones, which is something that we've seen a fair bit. We've seen that a fair bit more and more as the season has rolled on. Why am I getting underdog notifications? Okay. I'm on the clock and pick 67 right now, according to Underdog. I hope I'm not in some other draft that I am unaware of. All right, let's see. I'll catch up with chat after this. All right, in the spirit of us talking late receiver, let's take Aaron Jones. We'll take him there at pick 67. All right, let's catch up. Dirty P says, just check to see if only had 4% mix and 11% right, so those eliminator teams may do better than I was drafting. Can't wash out that 20% Judkins. Yeah, I didn't even want to look at my Judkins exposure, but it's high. ATX Bearcat, I've been using ETR Sprint rankings as they're very different from ADP for some reason. Maybe Sprint is behind. ADP is behind because of the fill rate. Yeah, I agree. I think ADP has been slower to move. I think Mooney and Jennings were slower to rise here than in BBM. I think the ADP was slightly less efficient. Because of that, Greg says Sladen, the Rainbow Warrior. Yeah, I figured I'd try out the Rainbow Warrior situation today. And, maybe Sladen is onto something. Go AZ Cards. Who scores more fantasy points, Gatabo or one of the Dallas running backs? I hope Gatabo, but I really just don't know what the role is going to be. Like, if he's the goal line back, then I would say Scatabo is live to outscore, all of them? Question mark? I don't know. The Dallas running back situation is so murky. I don't know what's going to happen. None of them are very good. Like, they're all bad, and we don't know what the usage is going to be. I know people think it's just going to be Javonte is going to have the primary with Blue as the pass down and Miles Sanders like spelling, it's like kind of spelling them. I don't know. And nothing would surprise me there. My goal is to advance 40% eliminators. I have a lot of Rodshi, Judkins, Mixon, and Coker. Yeah, that's tough. At least my Rashi fade did me well for my eliminators because I don't have any of him, but I certainly think you're quite live to advance some teams with even having Rashi there. All right, let's do Shaheed. Shaheed's kind of fun. Big spike week guy. We can work with this. So we add Shaheed to the team as our third receiver. Let's see what our friends have done. J-Dubs, he added Jalen Warren and TJ Hawkinson. So I like the Jalen Warren pick quite a bit, as I said on the last draft. ATX Bearcat, he takes Shakir and Purdy. So he gets Purdy paired up with Jennings there. And Dirty P back on the clock over on the turn. Let's see what he is up to. Hawkinson already went at 88, so I wasn't sure we were going to see a big Vikings bet. He does not. He gets up to 5 running backs, taking Caleb. So he takes a faller in Caleb and a riser in Krosky Merritt. The yin and yang of running backs, they're calling it there for us. Kyler would be interesting. We could potentially pair Kyler and McBride and just go 2 quarterbacks on this team. Is that a little bit aggressive? Do we need another wide receiver? Wide receiver gets pretty disgusting here. Cooper Kupp, the only option. There was some debate on Twitter about Cooper Kupp. Is he dust? Is he not? I hope he's not dust because I have about 12% Cooper Kupp. Let's take Kyler. QBs are going kind of thick and fast here. I don't do a lot of 2 QB builds, but with Hurts and Kyler, maybe this is the time. So we get Kyler paired with Trey McBride. So we get a little Arizona skinny here. Don't mind that. Hopefully we can catch up in the other position. So this is a 2-6-7-3 type team. Although again with McBride, normally I would be looking to stop at 2 tight ends. So maybe we add a third quarterback late. We'll see what the room hands to us, but just so people know what we're thinking about. Dirty P says, getting so boxed out at receiver, you're always getting boxed out of something at the 1 hole. Yeah, I agree, Dirty P. If you don't catch a faller from the 1 hole, it can be pretty miserable experience drafting from there. I would say it can be kind of hit or miss. I mean, you could have taken Judy instead of Mixon there. I see what you're doing at the Vikings thing. Like, if you were really worried about wide receiver, I don't mind the way you built it all. I think you're just fine. But it does, again, you get these weird pockets, and if you're like out on Judy, I'm out on Shakir, and then all of a sudden you're reaching for guys 10 picks ahead of ADP, and it just feels not great. But that's just life on the turn. And we got to adapt. Huaim says, the room has been drafting evenly from the 1 hole. If they are heavy running back or wide receiver, you get screwed. Yeah, that's exactly right, Huaim. If you end up in a running back heavy room, it's brutal, or wide receiver heavy room. I completely agree with that. It is you are very much at the mercy of what other drafters are doing. And it's not like it doesn't help you to get like 6 amazing running backs. It's like you can only play 3 of them. I'm not saying you don't want 6 amazing running backs if you can do it, but it's like, speaking of receivers being thin, I'll take Marvin Mims. I think that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. I mean, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, Rashid Shaheed, Marvin Mims as our wide receiver room is pretty god awful. I'm just going to lay it out with you guys. Hopefully we can hit a late wide receiver dart, but this is this team feels like it's drawing pretty thin at receiving firepower. We need Shaheed to show that he can do more than just be a deep threat, which he was starting to show pre-injury, but he also has Spencer Rattler throwing. Marvin Mims, if you want to fight with people on Twitter, just take either side of the Mims debate, and you can get some engagement there if you're looking to pass the time. He's either a fantastic click who's now going to be utilized a lot more, or he's a terrible click who only got there because of efficiency, and when he plays more, he's going to lose all of that efficiency that you have come to know and love. So it's a guy I just want to mix in and don't really want to die on any hills. All right. Yeah, best ball and call agreeing with Huhames. I agree with that. Joel says, I've come around to the 1 hole being my least favorite spot if the first 2 rounds go chalk. Yeah, I don't like drafting from the 1 myself. I have not found it my favorite. You got to decide if you want to push Burrow. You usually don't get him. You got to decide if you want to double stack the Bengals. I don't really like doing that. So it's not my favorite. Let's take Eckler. Eckler, unfortunately, was a guy I was not that in on during the year, and wish I was in a little bit more, especially with just B-Rob going. I think he's fine. I think he's capable of producing the odd spike week here and there. I think he's generally in half PPR, a little bit less than on DK. On DK, I think he's quite a bit more clickable than here, but he's attached to a really elite offense, and is a guy that I'm happy to take a few shares of here and there, especially at this point of if the running backs start to switch from standalone value to standalone plus contingent to pure contingent. He to me is not, he kind of just going to have his role. Apparently, like the snap counts, he was over 50% of snaps. I don't know if that's really an accurate portrayal of how the load is going to be distributed out there. So I'm not super high on Eckler, but I don't want to have stone 0 of him. All right. Dirty P says it's a 2-hole really punted wide receiver, and now we both need wide receiver, and he's got dibs. Yeah, no, well, we saw Chonks. He went 4 running backs and a quarterback before taking a receiver, so he's now going to be hoovering them up. Zay Jones will be waiting for you in round 18. Well, I took no Michael Wilson this whole year, so maybe I should have been taking Zay Jones. But I am not a Michael Wilson believer. I don't think he's any good whatsoever. 7-hole boning me with unstacked love. Oh, no. I missed that. J Dubs. He didn't have a quarterback, and he just straight up panicked. But I see you there with Kraft and Golden. Oof. That's pretty brutal. That's pretty brutal there. But you did adapt. You did get love. Do you have or Young? Oh, you. Yeah, you're not even the Tet team. You just. What have I done? What have I done? What did I just click on? I don't know who I want here. This whole range is so unfortunate. I can't believe I'm about to click on. Is this really what I want to do with my life? Take Dallas Goedert? I guess we'll take Dallas Goedert because this is a Jalen Hurts team, and now maybe we just stop at 2. We stop at McBride and Goddard, and now we'll look to add a late quarterback. I guess that's fine. But I'm not super duper excited about the prospect. All right. Huames says the coach speak on Chubb I think was supposed to be positive, but sounds negative to me. Huames, I missed anything new on Chubb, but it wouldn't surprise me because I don't think Chubb is very good. Huames has a bag of Zay Jones and DK. I wish I had taken a little Zay Jones. I really do. He was a guy I was aware of as like a sneaky late round guy, especially if I wasn't taking Wilson. But I just never got there. The last week I took a ton of Zay and Dameon Pierce. Yep, I started clicking Dameon Pierce probably too late. I didn't take him hand over fist, but I did definitely. I definitely started getting that back stack time from Joel. That's the way she goes. That is the way. The way she goes. Darren Waller made it through one practice before he got a hip pointer, and had to sit out again. Truly amazing. I am literally thinking of on DK trying a Dolphins like overstack of literally just doing like Tua, A-Chain, Waddle, and Tyreek, because I think everything is going to flow through there. And if that game shoots out, like who else is getting the ball on the Miami footballing Dolphins? If Ollie Gordon scores, I'm just done. I don't know. It's it might be the most condensed offense. All right, let's take a guy we can hopefully backstack in Geno Smith here. We're gonna take another quarter. Oh my God, I was scrolled and I didn't know. So Cam Ward and Tua were still there. This is what happens when I'm not paying attention. I'm talking with all of you, and I was scrolled down, and now I take Geno ahead. My only hope is that the Bowers drafter is just absolutely seething. Where are they? Justin. I don't know who Justin is, but Justin, hopefully Justin didn't want Bowers too badly. That was what we call an unforced error. That's what we call an unforced error here. If we don't get Dante Thornton, we're really screwed. I would have definitely taken Cam Ward and then tried to backstack him. I would have taken Aaron Rodgers if I was thinking, because Aaron Rodgers is DK Metcalf. That just seems objectively better than any of the things I was saying. I was just half paying attention and kind of panicked. So this is like drafting and driving, but perhaps even worse. Waller needs to retire to the LA Fitness basketball court. Yeah. Do you think he'd be the first pick in an LA Fitness pickup game at this point? Like probably, but you're like looking at him and you're a little bit like, I don't know if this guy's too in shape. He might gas out when we need him. James, imagine if the Jonnu trade wasn't for peanuts. Yeah, I don't know what the Dolphins were doing. I really don't. I need Torrey Horton to be Puka. Yeah. There's a lot of optimism in the chat today. For the day before the season starts, we're supposed to be all like, oh, everything's gonna work out, and we're all here like, it couldn't be more over. It couldn't be more over. The scroll troll, yay! This was a scroll troll, and I wish like it happens. I'm sure it's happened to you. If you draft enough on your desktop, it will happen to you, where you will have it like this. And you'll think this is the top of the queue, and there's a whole world of people. Now, this whole world of people is like Joe Mixon and Zach Ertz, so it's not really like that great of a world. It's kind of a terrible world, but like you still want to see all of your options. That's called draft fatigue. Yeah. I need to get into the VR streets. Get me to God's country. That's actually what he was talking about. He was talking about drafting. Now, question for the chat though: is anyone live at 10 today? Do we know? I have not been able to check if I'm assuming Pete is not going live before the biggest day of his life on YouTube. I don't know if when Davis is coming on, but I wasn't sure. Otherwise, I might switch over to BRs. You could say that Waller's practice is a wrap. Oh. Brutal. Fantasy Football Garage, GM2, thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Fantasy Football Garage, one of the most dominant performances you'll ever see on Best Ball Jeopardy. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Fantasy Football Garage. Greg VS, Waller's going to pull up from 3 from half court every time because he doesn't want contact in the paint. Last pick. Yeah, you draft him because you think he's just going to dominate in the low post, and then he's just like standing there checking his phone at the 3-point line, and you're like, buddy, head in the game. Joel says, happens to me all the time on desktop. I hate it. Yep. It just happened to me. Let's take Will Shipley. We'll continue this Eagles stack here. For the audio listeners, we've got Hurts, Kyler, and Geno. So a couple of week 8 bye QBs. That's fun. Christian McCaffrey, Isaiah Pacheco, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler, and Will Shipley. Wide receiver room, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, Rashid Shaheed, Marvin Mims, and Dante Thornton. And then McBride and Goddard at tight end. So we'll probably stop there at our tight end. I'll pull up the board so people can see what is going on here. Huham says, BBG and I have done a couple drafts off stream. We got scroll trolled with the T. Higgins fall at 32. Oh my God. there's nothing worse than when you realize you would have had a good value. Go AZ Cards. Chad Kendalls is live now. That's all that matters. Thanks, Go AZ Cards. I do appreciate it. I truly do appreciate the support, and I'm glad to be live with all of you. Also, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. We're just getting started here on the channel. The goal was 200 subs before kickoff. Last I checked, I was at 18. If I can, needed 18. If I can get 18 subs before kickoff, that would mean I've been botted. So I actually kind of hope that doesn't happen. But if we can get close, if we could get close to getting over the hump, I would truly appreciate it. Excited to bring some BR stuff, maybe a little DFS. We'll see what we can see as the season goes on. But truly excited. We'll check in on. Honestly, I'd say we'll check in on our teams. We might just do a brief look at like advance rates. I don't think people really want to like review my sweaty BBM teams like during week 11. Like nobody's gonna care. Like I don't even know if I care. So we're probably really just going to. I'm not even gonna like pretend we're gonna look at these unless like the masses really want that. But I can't imagine any of you actually wanting to see that. Let's see what other options we have. We need one more running back. Harold Fannin is the fancy click, but I don't really want to get to 3 tight ends on this team. Malik Washington's kind of fun if we think the Dolphins implode, if Tyreek gets traded, if something happens. I could see a full Dolphins implosion, and like the stack you need is Quinn Ewers to Malik Washington. So we'll do that. We'll take Malik Washington. We'll tell ourselves a tale of woe for the Miami Dolphins, get him onto the team, with apologies to whoever has Mr. Tua on their team. They will not be creating a back stack, although Tua had his chance. It's our friend here at the 7 hole who sniped our real friend, Mr. Worth over there. We got to make this happen for Mr. Candles. Well, I'm glad to, I'm just glad to have gotten close. I mean, I started streaming with like nobody. Like I had less than 20 subs when a best ball contest open. So I'm just thrilled to have made it as far as I have, and appreciate all of your support in getting there. Who aims MVS may be active week 1. We are live in the first quarter. Oh man, I have a lot of MVS. And so if I get the bailout, I would be pretty happy there. Keaton Mitchell's fun. DJ Giddens is fun too. Got a couple of nice options there. I'm a little of two minds. I like both of these clicks. I'll take the Giddens click, but I kind of wish I could have had both of them. But we definitely are going to need another wide receiver on this team. I'm getting the people are calling for J. Zay Jones. Who aims says Drafters giveaway announced in 13 minutes. Drafters Nation, make sure you get in on that. Again, I'm not over on Drafters. Maybe next year. Maybe next year I will, and I don't mean that facetiously. I do mean I might try to do more of the season long stuff. And if I do Drafters in there. Greg says, any Calvin Austin enjoyers in there? Dodgers injury report never left the wide receiver 2 slot. I have some Calvin Austin. I was mixing him and Roman Wilson in late. Peanut Punch, a.k.a. AJ Hernandez, liked and subscribed. Hey, Peanut Punch, thanks so much for coming in and hanging out. I do truly appreciate the support. I'm glad you found us here. Glad you're hanging out. Thanks so much for coming by. Peanut Punch should be here to get to witness me take my first Zay Jones share of the entire season in any format, in any contest, unless we get sniped. If we get sniped on him, then we take like someone that we have 1,000 of, like Yoshi Voss. We can queue up Lane. I can queue up Calvin Austin. Those guys are fine. Had I taken Aaron Rodgers, that would have made sense. Surprised to see Aaron Rodgers still here. Maybe people are not as into that in the sprint if they think he just like isn't going to make it through a full season, but we will do that. Who Aim says nothing worse than taking a player you're low on to get more of the QB, and then that QB goes 20 picks before ADP. Yeah, that is a nightmare scenario. So for the audio listeners, this ended up being a 3-6-7-2. Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Geno Smith. CMC, Isaiah Pacheco, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler, Will Shipley, and DJ Giddens. A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Rashid Shaheed, Marvin Mims, Dante Thornton, Malik Washington, Zay Jones, and then McBride and Goddard at tight end. I like the team. It needs something to happen at wide receiver. It really needs some really good run out from one of these 5. I do think we have 5 kind of exciting darts to fill that third receiver role. But it's it's definitely telling a story where we need elite tight end production and elite quarterback production. But that's it for that. Let's check in on what our friends did. Dirty P went with a 2-5-8-3. Joe Burrow, JJ McCarthy, Omarion Hampton, Chuba Hubbard, Jordan Mason, Caleb Johnson, and JCM. So stopped at 5 running backs earlier than pick 100. Hammered wide receiver late. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Jordan Addison, Luther Burden, Cedric Tillman, Torrey Horton, Jalen Knoll, and Jalen Lane. Okay, I like your wide receiver room. And then Jonnu Gesicki and Theo Johnson. Jonnu as a tight end 1 in any room, I don't think is that bad. I like the way you constructed the team, Dirty P. I think this is a fun sprint team. ATX Bearcat went 2-6-7-3. Purdy and Fields. Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, Braylon Allen, Ramondre Ford, and Justice Hill. Yep, strong anchor running backs, and then I don't mind these clicks. Jerome Ford's a guy I didn't get much of, but wish I had some of because it's just so murky there, and he's basically free, and he might just be the running back 1. Seems good. Seems like a guy I'd click at 170, but was a little bit of a blind spot for me this year. Wide receiver room: Evans, Moore, Waddle, Juwan Jennings, Khalil Shakir, Xavier Legette, Brandon Ayuk. I don't really click Ayuk, but you have a Purdy team, so I'm not going to fault you for that. And he's well past ADP. I think if you're ever going to take Ayuk, that's literally the time. Brenton Strange, Mason Taylor, and Pat Freiermuth. All those clicks make sense to me. All right, let's check in on Dirty P. He got a 2-6-8-3. 2-6-8-3. Jaden Daniels, Bryce Young. A running back room of Devon Achane, Jalen Warren, Cam Scatterbo, Jaden Blue, Najee Harris, Rico Dowdle. I like the running back room. I'm really into Warren. Obviously, my thoughts on Scatterbo are well documented. I like that. Neighbors, McLaurin, Devonta, Golden, Io Manor, Judd, QJ, Watson, Betch, and then a tight end room of Hawkinson and Kraft. I mentally was a little surprised this was not a Jackson Dart team. I kind of thought you were going to take Dart where you took Betch. I don't think Dart went in this room. Oh, he did go. So I don't know if Dart went. I'm curious if Dart went ahead of that, if that was your plan. So, Dart went at 195. Okay. So that makes sense why you didn't get Dart. I think Dart, I don't know if that was your plan, but I certainly could have seen Dart fitting in nicely when you have Neighbors and Scatterbo, and you felt like you had to kind of backstack Bryce Young there. All right. Joel agreeing with Who Hames goes. AZ Card says drafting 150 teams, one gets thrown out after closes worst. Oof, I know that's a nightmare. I really hope that doesn't happen. I mean, Bo Nix has stand-alone value. Absolutely. Drafters doing draft 5 get 25 back today, so very similar to the underdog contest, 25% off. The 175 plus tight end selection has somehow gotten even better. Yeah, Juwan Johnson is going undrafted, and Foster Moreau is starting the season on IR. I don't know why he's free. It doesn't make sense to me. I can't stop doing 3 late tight ends. Yeah, that's been my preferred way to build. Obviously this one I went elite tight end and ended in 2, but I don't build the same way every time. But I have been preferring 3 late tight ends. Yeah, who am saying he might be living in drafters. Definitely need to save some budget for the last week. Always full promos there. Yeah, I probably wish I had saved a few more BBM bullets for the very end. Dart was in consideration. 175 is way too early. I'm assuming that Dog Bowl has since fired in the time we did an entire sprint draft. But let me see what's this filling at. It is, waiting for 6. I'm going to hop out of that. Don't want to do that. All right, folks. Running another. Let me let me check something real quick. And then we will get in one more. I think we'll get in one more. All right, this is it. This is gonna be the final sprint. The final best ball contest. I may or may not do a BR after. We'll see. We'll see how we're feeling. But we're gonna do puppy. Who aim says puppy? Who aim? That was like when a little kid comes up and is like puppy, and you can't say no. I was gonna run a sprint, but the way you asked puppy with the question mark. All right, I'll hop in a puppy. I'm gonna hop in now. If anyone wants to hop in, we're waiting for 9. This will be it. This will be the puppy. If anyone wants to get in, get on in. Is it bad I have P. Ryan shares? I don't want to say anything's bad. I just am not clicking P. Ryan. I may be a full PPR site, but I have hard to imagine him getting much base work if something happens to Chase Brown. I feel like we kind of know what P. Ryan is. So we'll I don't know. I don't want to say anything's bad because it could absolutely work out well, but he's not a name I've clicked on. Yeah, let's go. The puppy. We've got a true friends and family. We've got Mr. Worth. We've got Dirty Pete. We've got Who Ames. We've got myself at the 5. We've got Greg at the 8. And this is going to be a fun room. Everybody, good luck. This is going to be my last streamed best ball draft. I might rip some puppies just on my phone. So if you see me in sprints, you might see me in the sprint streets later. But I will be winding it down. Yeah, look at the friends and family snipe run at the top. Yeah, the goal is to make Huhaim's life absolutely miserable in the. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, Huhaim's is going to try something. Love to hear it. I hope everybody has fun. I don't know if I'm going to try anything weird in my last draft, or just play it straight up. We'll see what the room hands to us. But again, appreciate it. Dirty P with BTJ. So we're already seeing some board flipping. Who aims with Derrick Henry? I'm going to live my truth. I said I was going to take CMC. I don't want to break that, even though I kind of want to take Bijan there. This guy here at the 6 is like, why is Bijan Robinson at the 106? Has the integrity been compromised of this contest? Unclear, but we will see what Ali's does. Yeah, this draft did scoop the value. Yeah, Greg is just gonna be scooping the value at the 8, being like, what the heck is going on? This dude in the 11 hole is about to be in a whirlwind. Yeah. This was the draft to be in, folks. This was the draft to be in. I certainly did not take full advantage of Brian Thomas and Derrick Henry going ahead of me from the 5, but Justin Jefferson at the 9. That guy is like, oh, don't drop the baby. Let me see. Wait, who's the top available? Okay, so it's kind of normalized. Nico at the 11. Yeah, Nico at the 11 is nice, but not like text your buddies. Nico at the 12, I might text a buddy. That's pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet. Merry Christmas 6 and 7 holes. Yep. Well, I have CMC rated ahead of all those guys for the last week, so we'll see. I did not want to back off of my word. Oh, I missed this, Lenars. This is a star-studded affair. I'll stay in my lane. No, there are no lanes. This is, if you have seen Mad Max Fury Road, we are on the Fury Road. I don't know who our Immortan Joe is. Maybe it's Huhaim's. Huhaim's could be our Immortan Joe. I can be just a humble war boy, hoping for some attention. But we got CMC. Let's see who we take here. I just did CMC AJ Brown. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'll likely do CMC and one of these running backs, either Bucky or Jonathan Taylor here. Let's see. Ulis is just still in shock. He takes Brock Bowers. I'll take Bucky. I will take Bucky on this team. So we start CMC Bucky over here. Justin Jefferson on Raw. Yeah. The 9 hole. The 9 hole going absolutely nuts. Witness me. Yeah. All right. Who are your favorite plays week 1? It's probably Drake London. It was Drake London, and then like I heard Utica like fudding the Falcons Bucks game. You know, the Bucks lost one of their starting tackles, so he's a little worried that the game isn't going to be quite the shootout we want, and so the environment isn't going to be as conducive to just like being the stone cold nuts, which is probably a fair point. But even then, I have a tough time not jamming Drake London into my stuff this week, like at all costs. Him and Chase Brown. I don't know why Chase Brown's priced where he is in BRs. I think he belongs in that first tier of player. Maybe it's because people are taking Jamar Chase first, so they feel queasy having to. Let's take Tyreek. Having two Bengals at the top. I don't know, but I don't understand Chase Brown's price in BRs. Let's see the Super Mario Kart draft. All right, so let's see. J Dubs. He's got Lamb, Brown, and McBride, Dirty P, BTJ, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Allen. So he cleverly gets the Week 17 Jonathan Taylor BTJ stack. You're welcome, because I almost took Jonathan Taylor. Dirty P, of course. Remember me when you're in the finals. Whohames with Derrick Henry, T. Higgins, Mike Evans, myself with CMC, Bucky, and Tyreek, and Moon Cat with Saquon, Jacobs, and Jaden Daniels. Game tight in the 8-hole. He gets Omari and Hampton at pick 34. That seems fun. That's a little bit of a fall for him, although the Najee is going to play a lot. FUD has reached pandemic levels, so we'll see. We will see if the Cyclops really is getting more carries or not. So far so good. We're all well in line in our lanes, but we will see. Mooncat, of course, he gets a nice little buffer of two guys here between he's kind of on the on-ramp to the Fury Road. He's watching all of us battling, with spiky cars and clever contraptions. Do we want, if he fell to us, to take Jalen Hurts? I think for me the answer is going to be pretty firm no, but we don't even get the choice because the 9-hole. So he gets Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Ted McMillan, and then Jalen Hurts. Interesting addition there for him. I wonder if he's going to try to get Devonta, but I don't think that lines up for him. So might be a naked Hurts for the guy who got gifted some pretty hefty value. This is the range of guys that I love, but I mean, who am I if not the biggest JMO slappy in town? So I will continue to arf my way through life and take Jameson Williams there. Mooncat, he gets Daniels and McLaurin. So another person in a stream draft of mine getting Daniels, McLaurin. You love to see it. Whohames says, I would not have done naked Hurts with low own Amon. Yeah, I wouldn't have either, Whohames. I'm wondering if he's like, I need to lock up elite QB here, but I don't think that's how I would have handled that kind of gift I was given there. Whohames, he takes Travion. Dirty P takes Cortland Sutton, and J-Dubs takes George Pickens to his team. So he's got Pickens, Lamb. Note to everybody, make sure to take Dak at all costs. No, I'm kidding, of course. Do not go out of your way to be mean to people. Everyone's just trying to get through the Fury Road in whatever way they can. Let's take Alvin Kamara. I mean, what's more bullish than set for workhorse load? Again, I do a lot of running back here, and then I take a lot of receiver here, and then a running back on the wrap. Let's go the opposite way. Let's take a receiver here, or excuse me, a running back here. I totally botched that. Whohames, he's also got a three running backs, 2 receivers. He adds James Conner to his team. Dirty P, he says, I don't care about Juwan Jennings getting a contract. I'm taking Ricky Pearsall. J-Dubs, he says, I don't care that he's out at the bar every night. I'm taking Breece Hall. So love what we're doing here. He probably doesn't trust the 2 and 3 hole. Oh my gosh, he's going to get Javonte. Oh my God, guys, what happened? What happened? We let this happen. We let this happen. And then Game Tight has 5 running backs. What is going on? This really is the Fury Road. I cannot believe he got Devonta Smith with Jalen Hurts with his don't drop the baby team. He dropped the baby, and then the baby was actually a cat, and it was fine and landed on his feet. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe he was able to get Hurts Devonta there in the 5th round. The integrity of the puppy is in sheer ruin right now. Is in utter ruins here. Flowers going at pick 61 is a pretty nice fall. I'm a little surprised that the Lamar Jackson drafter didn't take him, but you might have DK projected significantly better. Game Tight really an agent of chaos. Yes, he has 5 running backs and a cornerback on his team. That's a pretty unique build there. But he has sucked all of the life out of the running backs in this room. Best of luck to Dirty P and J Dubs here, who only have 1 so far. Who Ames and I just laughing with our 3 running backs. We don't have to worry about getting too sweaty in those streets. I think I'll take Debo. I mentioned how much I like Debo, and I was not lying. I really do like Debo quite a bit. Happy to get him as a 3rd receiver. I take a ton of Pacheco there. Who Ames takes Burrow? Oh, he had Higgins. All right, he was the Higgins guy. I thought you were taking him on stack. So Who Ames gets gifted. He pulls off the Burrow push. So it's been pretty good. Dirty P, he gets the last helicopter out of Saigon. He gets Isaiah Pacheco at pick 70. So he fortunately is able to add a running back to his crew. J-Dub says, I am simply not worried about running back taking Christopher Olave. I actually don't know if Christopher is his real name or not, but we'll see what J-Dubs does with his next selection. He has Jordan Addison, so he goes 5 receivers before a 2nd running back, a true piss boy in true. We've got Tyreek, J-Mo, and Debo. I don't really have a need for Mahomes on this team. Laporta is a bit of a faller. I think I'm just going to take what the room is giving me, and the room's giving me a tight end I'm pretty into, along with J-Mo. So let's keep on with the Detroit pass catchers. We'll get Jameson Williams onto this team. We'll see what the room is going to give to the 9-hole, who seems to have all sorts of blessings bestowed upon them, like they were born in a manger of some type, and people are just showing up with gifts for them. They did take Swift, which I think kind of sucks. I really do not like Swift this year, but who knows? Maybe Swift is going to be really awesome. Somebody messaged Hope already. Wasn't me. Yeah, we're playing for 2nd in this pod. The chat kind of skipped on me here. I got the week 15 and 17 Burrow, Higgins with the, yeah, I mean, Who Ames is, we're all battling for 3rd behind the 9-hole and Who Ames. Congrats on Geared Up in their Puppy 4 championship. Well, if Swift and Montgomery are who you need, I'm going to lose all my money. Yeah. Not great. Yeah. Messaging Hope, Al Boogie not messaging Hope, but somebody needs to. Dirty P says going for all the week 16 and 17 game stacks over there. Joel's, yeah, I'm with you, Joel. Joel, at least I accomplished my goal. Well, let's see. So Mahomes drafter does go to the, like, everyone's building good teams in this room. Everyone's building good teams in this room. Maybe the chaos is morphing into something truly beautiful, like watching a Jackson Pollock painting coming together. I don't know if those actually come together. They're kind of just chaotic, and really, I don't know if they're actually that difficult. But let's see what we want to do here. Will we get another receiver? Do we want to take a quarterback? None of these quarterbacks make sense. I think if I don't get Michael Pittman, I'm going to be very, very sad here. If I don't get Michael Pittman, I mean, I could do naked Knicks. I could do naked Fields. I don't really want to do either of those things. I don't believe in Jacoby Myers. Darnell Mooney weirdly goes ahead of ADP. We're just going to windmill in Michael Pittman. We're going to play for week 1 with Hill and Pittman. That seems like a good strategy. Let's see what our friends are doing. Mooncat, he took Caleb. He took no chances locking up a second quarterback, despite having Jaden Daniels in round 3. He said, I cannot trust this room. I simply must lock up DJ Moore and Caleb Williams right now. Huhames, he takes Baker, so he's up to 2 quarterbacks with Burrow and Baker there. Baker, of course, with Evans, like that. So we got a few people going 2 QB early, which has me nervous with no quarterbacks quite yet. Huhames asking, is Z-Lan RS Zach? I'm embarrassed to say, and I apologize. I don't know who's. Oh, like Zach Lenar? Oh, I don't know. It could be. I do not know. Huhames, I do like the idea. Dirty P says, auto drafting, lost connection. I'm in the lobby, but have no player pool loading. No! Dirty P! Hopefully you can refresh or open your phone. Oh no, Dirty P, I apologize. If you want my next couple picks, I can take the full clock. Well, you got Mark Andrews, which I think is a pretty good click. Dirty P, I'm gonna burn my full 30 seconds for you to hope to try to get you back in, even if I know who I am taking, which I don't. I could take Purdy with CMC. I don't do that very often, but I think that's a little bit panicky. I kind of just want to take Jared Goff. I know that's a little panicky, but I think if I don't get Goff with JMO and Laporta, I'm gonna be pretty disappointed. So we'll take something else there. I did not trust this room. Yeah, Joel says, I don't trust this room, not pushing back. I don't trust this room either. And the guy that was gifted that Amon-Ra Jefferson stack also has Montgomery. He was live to take Goff from me. So I did not feel like I could risk it there. Once that guy had two Lions, I felt like it was too much for me to try to push, even though I normally would rather have pushed that there. Dirty P says I'm back, not the worst. Okay, I can click again, Dirty P. Yeah, I think that's fine. Mark Andrews, I'm never upset. It's not like you didn't have a tight end already. You are the reason he took Hurts. Me? Me or Mooncat? I'm not the reason he took Hurts. I wanted Kamara. Kamara was oh wait, he took a Hurts. I don't know. Either way, we are rocking and rolling here. Let's see. So all of our friends and family have quarterbacks. You love to see that. Game tight here in the 10. He doesn't have a quarterback. He just has 6 running backs. He took Cam Scatabo at pick 106 because you know what? They won't tell you this, people, but you can just do things. You can just do things. You do not have to live your life confined to what the best ball intelligentsia wants you to do. You can make bad selections, and nobody can tell you otherwise. We'll see if he finally takes another player. He takes Bateman, so he's just not worried about quarterbacks. That is fine. All right, so what do we want to do? Not a bad range of running back or of receiver here with Burden, Mims. Normally I would have said Kirk, Tyreek, Debo, Pittman. Purdy goes. Purdy is who I would have taken to stack with CMC and then backstacked. Loveland is a little bit intriguing to me. I think I more would rather just take the stab on another wide receiver. I think I have probably going to try to get Tua on this team in the ideal world. We'll see. This room is a little nutty, but I feel good about my my running backs, or at least good enough with CMC, Bucky, and McCaffrey. It's still too early to take Tua. He goes at 150. I can't panic and take him at 125. I'd rather just backstack. At that point, I had been doing a lot of Kirk Stroud in this range, but again with the injury, that is a little bit less appealing to me. This team is live to take Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones I like less in the Puppy 4 because this contest has been open only in the window where we knew Daniel Jones was the starter. In BBM, Daniel Jones is going to be very low owned. So I don't think the Puppy 4 is the contest for, I think you can take Daniel Jones. It's fine, but it's not as good of a click as in, say, a few of the other places here. Let's take Ollie Gordon. a little bit steamy, but at least in this contest, we're not getting it in bad. This is the kind of inverse of the discussion I just was making about Daniel Jones. I think Ollie Gordon is a perfectly good click here because there is nobody who got him in the 200s. This will have us queuing up Tua. Pull up the board. Where's the Waddle drafter? The Waddle drafter is possibly Zach Lennar or fake Zach Lennar. So if I push Waddle, probably should be able to still get him at 149. If not, again, we can backstack and it's not the end of the world. All right. I was saying he was scared about not getting Goff. Gotcha. I bet he takes JJ here. He did. He took Justin Jefferson there. I missed that. That made sense. It's about to get way crazier. The shackles of the ADP have been lifted. Yeah, the Fury Road will show its teeth here. Huhames was between Godwin and Ollie. Tampa Bay bring back. Yeah, I was actually a little worried we were going to be in the same. I saw you building for week 17. And once you started going Tampa Bay, the immediate corollary was Miami Dolphins. So I thought in the back of my mind you might take Gordon. And then I thought I might take Godwin for the yin. We have a nice little yin yang here going on, Huhaim. So appreciate that. Game tight. He finally takes a quarterback, the crazy running back drafter. He goes with Pitts, Penix at the turn. A little instant stack one can make when they are in a pinch. When they're in a pinch. I'm thinking about a Kincaid is actually kind of who I was going to take. I'm going to be much more upset about losing Tua than happy about getting like a Jaden Blue. I think I'm okay if I miss out on that. So I'm just going to take Tua here, not muck around with the kind of maniacs, kind of wild feral people that we have over here. They might tell themselves that Malik Washington Tua is what you need. I'll just take Tua here, and I think that is fine. I should be able to get another kind of contingent value running back I like in this range. If that's the way I go, I could potentially take another tight end. We will see what the room gives us. Who said like the Goddard pick? I kind of was hovering possibly over that and then stopping at 2 tight ends, but we will see. Oh, hold on. Getting messages. Okay. All right. Bryce Young goes. So Huhaim took Goddard. Dirty P took Palmer. And J-Dubs takes Love. I am guessing Dirty P is about to take, my prediction is Brenton Strange. No, he takes Tillman. Very interesting. I thought he was going to make that click there. We could take, you know what? Who's my tight end? Oh, he's also week 8. I'll take Ray Day. I would have loved to take Strange and ended at 2 tight ends, but then I have 2 week 8 tight ends, so I don't want to do that because then I have to get a third anyway. We'll take Ray Davis. Little contingent value back. We'll see if he's the goal line back in Buffalo or not, but I think he's going to have a few spike weeks over the course of the year, and hopefully they come when we need him. This team is going to add one more quarterback to it. Could definitely live to be a Daniel Jones team. If you have to do a naked final quarterback, that's fine. I don't think I want to just end this team with Tua and Goff. Possibly just end at 5 running backs with CMC, Irving, Kamara, and then Gordon and Buck and Ray Davis. I don't have any bye week overlaps. I think this is a perfectly reasonable 5 running back start. Of course, we'll stay flexible there. All right, Joel says, getting Love at 143 is karma for unnecessarily sniped on him in this sprint draft. Yep, I did. He was a nice faller. Definitely was a nice faller in this one. Joel Worth, are you J-Dubs? Yep, he is in the room. He is one of those, like Greg, who does not have the same YouTube username as Underdog. Name board is swinging around to us. We'll see what comes to us. Mooncat, he took Demario Douglas last. He got the Cyclops at pick 137. Let's see what he does. He gets Zach Ertz. That makes sense because he is the Jaden Daniels drafter, so he builds that stack. Hunter Henry goes, so a little run in a little tight end run. I'm just going to take Cam Ward here, as I like Cam Ward a lot. And it's not my turn to pick. Yes, it is. All right. Well, don't know what happened there, but it's trying to tell me I couldn't pick. Okay. I understand. Underdog.com. All right, so we take Cam Ward there. Apologies if the I thought the where's the Ridley drafter? Oh no, it's Zanile. I don't care about Zanile. Yeah, so the Ridley drafter, if they wanted him, they should have taken him where they took Bryce Young, but alas, we cannot have everything we want. All right. We have 4 people with 1 tight end. So the odds of getting Chigakonkwo were stone 0. And yeah, there he goes to the first guy that needed a tight end. That would have been a lot to hope for, but I was still optimistic I could get that there, but it's fine. We have a lot of eggs in the Sam Laporta basket ourselves. Let's see what receivers are out here. Did Io Manor? He already went? That's unfortunate. I really thought I was going to get Io Manor here, but he went when I apparently was not paying attention. Let's take Isaiah Likely. With Sam Laporta, we can afford to wait on Likely to be healthy. We're getting a big discount on him, and then I can just take a third tight end super late. I think I'm going to queue up Malik Washington. If somebody snipes him, that's fine. We'll just do something else. With Goff, Isaac Tesla was already gone at pick 173, so not really a good backstack for Detroit. Io Manor was really the only direction I want to go. I don't believe in Tyler Lockett. And then Tua, it's really Malik Washington. So if Malik goes, then we just take our, best player available route there. I had him queued before you took Ward. My bad. This feels like a Mitchell Tinsley team. Mitchell Tinsley. Dear God. His ADP is stone 216. Which does that mean he's never been drafted? I don't know if that means he's just literally undrafted. I think it's when it's 216.0. But I don't know. I mean, if Mitchell Tinsley is who you need, Malik Washington goes to the Maniac. The Maniac who took 6 running backs before taking anything else has shot me in the arm, and I am lying down, and I am in utter ruin. I'm going to queue up the Fannin bet because at this point, nothing matters, and we are in a nihilistic void. No, I have enough late receivers I can take, and the Fannin bet seems kind of fun. So we'll make the Fannin bet. Oh my God, we can't make the Fannin bet because Ulis took him from us. Dear God, and we were not ready because Slayton was the other click I was going to make. All right, let's take Yoshi Voss. That wasn't cool. That was not cool. We don't get the Fannin bet. We continue in our nihilistic void. Maybe it was Mitchell. Who brings up Mitchell Tinsley, and like everything starts to implode on us there. So that's a little bit unfortunate. We're gonna take one more tight end. We're gonna take one more wide receiver. I'll queue up Thielen. I'll queue up Dynamic Brown, and I'll queue up Jalen Coker. If we have to get Coker, you know what? Maybe we go that route. Trey Harris. This is pretty late for Trey Harris. I don't know if should really be completely undrafted, but I don't know if I need another share of Zay Jones. Obviously, he is live to be taken here. Dirty P takes Pat Bryant. I don't know if Who Ames is still on the Pat Bryant, but that's a pretty funny bit if Who Ames got sniped on his guy, because Who Ames, one of the bigger Pat Bryant bulls in the community. Chad's descent into nihilism was thorough and quick. Well, you draft enough of these, Joel, and you see the worst in humanity. And I will take Dynamic Brown. I am just kidding, of course. I'm so lucky that I get to play Underdog Fantasy with you guys. It is so much fun. It's been such a fun summer, spring, and winter. And I do appreciate you guys hanging out. Dirty P shakes fist. Well, I mean, Huams, you sniped Thielen from the top of my queue. Obviously, I can't be too mad. That was way past ADP, and I think Thielen is like a smash at pick 196. So I do not begrudge you in the slightest for that there. Daniel Jones goes. All right. Tight end is pretty bad. Tight end is pretty bad at this point in the draft. Running back is pretty bad at this point in the draft. Although Pierce, Corum, they're clickable. Kendry Miller, clickable. Sean Tucker, if I really was committed to the bit in a bring back for the Dolphins, Bucky and Sean Tucker. Maybe things are so bad for the Dolphins that they actually Tucker and Bucky smash like they did that one time. Joel says, props to you, Chad. Appreciate having an early morning best ball stream to listen to at work. Awesome. Hey, Joel, thanks so much for coming in. I do appreciate it. Again, we'll be going on. The format will have to change because there will be no best ball, but we will do underdog, a little DFS. We'll see what the people want to do. Goddard, Gesicki, screw it. What a weirdo squad. This has been super fun. Let's see who Mooncat's last selection is. Gosh, I can't even do Darren Waller on a Tua team. I'm going to live my truth. My last televised pick of this is going to be my dart throw of the season. Michael Mayer, contingent upside. If something happens to Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, Giga Smash. That'll do it for this team. Got Jared Goff, Tua, Cam Ward, CMC, Bucky Irving, Alvin Kamara, Ollie Gordon, Ray Day, Tyreek Hill, Jamison Williams, Deebo Samuel, Michael Pittman, Luther Burden, Yoshi Voss, and Dynamic Brown, Sam Laporta, Isaiah Pacheco, Michael Mayer. I don't mind this team at all. Let's check in on our friends. Mr. Worth, 2772. Sorry, it went back to my team. 2772. He's got Dak and Love, and then Breece Hall, JCM, Tank Bigsby, Jaden Blue, Chris Rodriguez, Rico Dowdle, Marshawn Lloyd. So he goes a true zero RB strategy with Breece Hall as his first running back. A lot of contingent upside, a lot of players in uncertain roles. I don't mind building teams like this. I don't mind building teams like this at all. Wide receiver room of Lamb, Brown, Pickens, Olave, Addison, Jalen Knoll, and Dontavian Wicks. Pretty good wide receiver room. And then McBride and Colston Loveland. Strong team there. I like the way you constructed that one. Dirty P with a 3-5-8-2 with Allen, Lawrence, and Dart. I like that. I like Dart and Allen. I think that's kind of a fun he's a fun third QB on Josh Allen teams. Jonathan Taylor, Isaiah Pacheco, Caleb Johnson, Byshell Chutin, and Will Shipley chasing. So again, counting on a couple rookies to come on late with one very pure contingent bet, but like that. BTJ, which he took at pick 3, so flip the board. Cortland Sutton, Ricky Pearsall, Keon Coleman, Josh Palmer, Cedric Tillman, Kyle Williams, and Pat Bryant. And then Andrews, who I know was an auto pick, but I liked, and then Theo Johnson. A little surprised you didn't prioritize. You do have T-Law. Okay, sorry, I thought you didn't have T-Law on this team, which would have shocked me because you reached for BTJ. So like that. Who Hames with a 2-5-8-3. He's got Burrow and Baker. Says you got Burrow and Baker. You don't need 3 QBs. 3 QBs, bros, shoving them into a locker. Derrick Henry, Travion Henderson, James Conner, Quinshon Judkins, and Taj Brooks. Swinging for the fences with Judkins as his late season hammer. T. Higgins, Mike Evans, Juwan Jennings, Rashid Shaheed, Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, Alec Iomanor, and Adam Thielen. So a few bets for late in the season in Godwin and Judkins, and then a few more earlier season veterans like Allen and Thielen. So I kind of like the way your team sort of naturally flows. And then Goddard, Gesicki, and Freiermuth. I like the team there. And last but not least, Mooncat with a 2-5-9-2. 9 receivers. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Austin Eckler, Najee Harris, and Kyle Monungai. Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, Jerry Jeudy, Khalil Shakir, Romeo Dobbs, DeMarco Murray, Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, Calvin Austin. And then Tucker Kraft and Zach Ertz. Yeah, I like the squad. I like the squad. I mean, 9 receivers is aggressive. It is aggressive, but you got Daniels and Eckler. So if you're betting on Eckler being closer to elite, and then you got Saquon, Jacobs, Eckler, I think that's fine. I like the team. I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out. All the teams need a review. We had to get in there. GG, Greg, GL, everyone. Best ball call. Thanks so much. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. All of them got a review. Good luck, Chad. Hey, good luck to you, Huhames. Appreciate it so much. Hartman and Sean Mitchell both won Drafters 10 tickets. Oh, yes. We love to see that. Hartman, good luck, everyone. Congrats on winning 10 Drafters tickets. That's pretty sick, Hartman, again. And thank you so much for coming in and for the support. It was only 1 ticket per person. Rugged by Huhames. No, I'm just kidding, of course. 10 tickets would be a lot. They'll be like drafters being like, you guys have homework. You have to draft 10 drafts in the next 8 hours. Good luck. Good luck. Still better than nothing for sure. That is awesome. Well, again, thank you all so much for the support. And thank you all for the great content all summer. Hey, Hartman, I really appreciate it. And likewise, thank you so much for everything you do, for your streams, for the community. I truly do appreciate it. ATX Bearcat, great season. Thanks, Chad. Hey, good luck. Best ball summer has been a blast. It really has, Joel. It really has. Again, thank you all for coming in. I'm not going anywhere. I hope you don't either. But if not, you know what? As soon as best ball drafts open in January, it'll be cold, and I will be streaming them too. And so we will keep on keeping on. Good luck to you all. I hope to see you guys in the finals, but I also hope to see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone.